The camera approaches slowly through dry grass reaching knee-height, crossing a forgotten yard where only the wind-moved dust accumulated over decades. In the center of that abandonment, half swallowed by low vegetation and the long afternoon shadows, rests a Barouche carriage from the Old West era of 1865, with its solid wooden wheels partially sunken into the compacted soil. The structure presents its characteristic silhouette. Elegant rectangular body elevated on forged iron axles, 4 large wheels with wide metal rims, darkened oak side panels with decorative molding, cross beams visible beneath the passenger compartment, front shafts still attached to the curved wooden yoke, folding leather hood frame collapsed over the rear seat section, and the mechanical brake assembly with lever attached to the right side. The low sun illuminates the left side, revealing overlapping layers of orange oxidation on the metal rims, while the wood displays tones of faded gray interspersed with dark patches of mold and infiltration. The main body maintains its original geometry, although the side panels are cracked, some joints separated by moisture contractions, decorative trim pieces hanging loose where nails gave way. The front wheels, smaller than the rear ones according to the pattern of the era, preserve their thick oak spokes, although 3 of them show deep vertical cracks. The right rear wheel is tilted outward, evidencing wear on the iron hub and the axle that crosses underneath. Details emerge as the camera slowly circles. The mortise and tenon joints between the body frame members, the ornate iron brackets reinforcing the corners, the wide-headed rivets still embedded in the junction between wood and metal, the dark green patina on the brake system hardware, the circular wear marks where traction chains rubbed against the undercarriage for years of use. The passenger compartment floor reveals wooden planking, with joints between boards filled by decades of compacted dirt. The folding hood mechanism, 3 articulated iron hoops connected by leather straps, remains attached to the rear of the body, its framework bent and corroded but still recognizably part of the same Barouche carriage from the Old West era of 1865. A diesel engine approaches, breaking the stagnant silence. The winch arrives via the side trail, reinforced chassis with hydraulic outriggers extending to touch the ground, stabilizing the machine before hoisting. A figure wearing thick leather gloves and work boots descends from the cab, walking around the Barouche carriage from the Old West era of 1865 with measured steps, evaluating attachment points. The gloved hand touches the timber of the body frame, testing resistance, then moves to the front shafts, checking structural integrity before defining the removal strategy. Wide industrial nylon straps are unrolled, their interwoven fibers forming 15-centimeter wide bands. The first strap slides under the rear section, passing beneath the main crossbeams of the carriage body, wrapping the assembly above the rear axle. The second strap wraps the front section just behind the shafts, embracing the undercarriage frame in a loop that distributes pressure evenly. Each strap features a metal ratchet tensioner, and the rhythmic clicking of the mechanism resonates as the bands adjust, tightening against the wood until they become rigid as steel bars. Heavy chains with welded links descend from the winch's main hook, swinging slightly before being connected to the strap eyes. Each connection is checked twice, gloved fingers testing the firmness of the steel carabiners. The winch's main cable, braided in galvanized steel 2 centimeters in diameter, extends from the motorized drum to the center point above the Barouche carriage from the Old West era of 1865, forming a straight line that divides the load symmetrically. The winch motor accelerates, a guttural bass that increases progressively. The drum rotates slowly, the cable beginning to rise, gradually removing slack. The chains stretch, links adjusting with small metallic snaps. The straps tension, their fibers compressing the wood. The carriage remains motionless initially, its weight distributed on wheels sunken into compacted soil. Tension grows, the cable vibrating slightly, emitting an almost imperceptible high-pitched sound. The rear wheels begin to yield, movement starting as microscopic tremor before becoming perceptible displacement. The earth around the metal rims crumbles in small blocks, revealing the depth to which the wheels had sunk. The right rear wheel, tilted due to hub clearance, drags sideways, its rim scratching the dry ground and raising a thin trail of orange dust. The winch continues hoisting, the cable angle gradually changing. The front wheels, still partially buried, resist longer. The motor increases rotation, and then the front wheels yield simultaneously, jumping upward and freeing themselves from the earth with a muffled sucking sound. The entire Barouche carriage now hangs from the straps, swaying slightly forward and backward, the front shafts swinging free, the brake system hanging inert, the collapsed hood frame tilting with the movement. The truck bed awaits, rear ramp lowered, forming a gentle angle with the ground. The Barouche is positioned on the bed's center axis, lowered slowly until the rear wheels touch the metal surface with a muffled metallic impact. The front wheels descend next, weight distributing again over the 4 support points. The truck departs, engine roaring to overcome cargo inertia. The dirt road shakes the carriage, each irregularity transmitted through the rigid wheels to the body, generating continuous creaking of wood pressed by the lashings. The workshop gate appears ahead, tall structure of corrugated steel painted neutral gray. The engine echo reverberates inside the empty shed, sound amplified by metal walls and high ceiling with exposed beams. The Barouche carriage from the Old West era of 1865 now rests in the center of the polished concrete floor, under concentrated light from tripod-mounted reflectors that eliminate shadows and reveal every imperfection. The environment contrasts with previous abandonment. Clean walls, tools organized on magnetic panels, empty workbenches awaiting incoming parts. Disassembly begins with the folding hood mechanism. Gloved hands grip the corroded iron hoops, disconnecting the leather strap hinges that attach the framework to the rear body section. The leather is brittle, cracking as it's carefully removed, decades of exposure having destroyed elasticity. The first hoop lifts away with resistance, bringing fragments of deteriorated leather. The second and third hoops follow, each revealing the same pattern of corrosion on the iron and the same connection points, proving they all belong to the same Barouche carriage. The decorative trim pieces along the body panels are removed next. These ornamental wooden moldings, which once gave the carriage its elegant appearance, are pried loose from their mounting points. Some pieces break during removal. The wood, too, deteriorated to withstand handling. The brake system is disassembled next. The main lever is disconnected from the pivot point on the undercarriage frame, revealing layers of rust that flake off at touch like tree bark. The chains linking lever to shoes are removed link by link, each connection testing process patience. The brake shoes, with their dried and peeling leather, are detached from support rods positioned to press against the rear wheel rims. The wheels receive meticulous attention. Each wheel is positioned vertically on rotating support that allows complete rotation, while camera and hands examine the entire circumference. Metal rims are tested for attachment. Light taps with rubber mallet reveal which segments are loose, emitting hollow sound, and which remain compressed against wood. The right rear wheel, the one with visible tilt, is first to be completely disassembled. The central cast iron hub is freed from the axle through controlled force, metal slides pressing circularly until the piece yields and slides out. Spokes are removed sequentially from the wooden rim, each tenon joint being undone carefully to avoid cracking remaining wood. The metal rim, now loose, is lifted and moved away, revealing the wooden rim in its entire perimeter. The other 3 wheels follow the same process, each disassembly generating pile of organized components removed from the same Barouche carriage. The passenger compartment body is elevated by hydraulic jacks positioned under the main frame rails, raising the assembly above the axles. The axles are then slid out laterally, slow movement against rust that grip them to the mounting brackets. The body panels are carefully removed from the frame, each panel numbered to ensure correct reassembly. Running water from low-pressure hose initiates cleaning process, gentle but constant jet traveling each surface of the carriage's components, softening compacted earth that breaks away in small blocks and drains to the floor's central drain. Stiff bristled brushes scrub the wood following grain direction, removing decades of accumulated grime from the ornate body panels and structural frame members. The draining water gradually changes from thick brown to light brown, then to cloudy gray, finally to transparent when surface dirt ends. Metal hardware undergoes immersion in degreasing solvent. The transparent liquid quickly clouds as it dissolves aged grease and oil residue. Stainless steel wire brushes attack surface oxidation on the decorative iron brackets and functional components, repetitive movements generating harsh scraping sound. The main axles rest on sawhorses, their cylindrical surfaces now exposed. Orbital sanders with 80 grit discs travel each axle's length, oxidized metal transforming into fine orange powder that falls continuously. The body panels and structural frame members, now clean and dry, are inspected individually on illuminated sawhorses. Electric planers remove deteriorated surface layer from the main frame rails, sharp blades tearing thin shavings that curl into spirals and fall. The fresh wood exposed beneath surprises with lighter tone, almost golden. The decorative moldings that can be saved are carefully sanded and stabilized. Those too deteriorated are replicated using period-appropriate templates. After drying, oil-based primer is applied to wood pieces that will form the visible exterior of the Barouche carriage from the Old West era of 1865. The primer is dense, grayish-white color and levels small imperfections. Thin layers are applied with foam roller, each layer crossing the previous one at perpendicular angle, paying special attention to the ornate body panels that define the carriage's elegant profile. Metal pieces, now cleaned to base metal, receive anti-corrosive treatment. Zinc-rich epoxy primer is brushed onto each surface, the greenish-gray liquid forming chemical barrier against future oxidation. Each wheel metal rim, each brake system piece, each decorative iron bracket from the same carriage receives 3 coats. Structural reassembly begins with the main undercarriage frame. The longitudinal frame rails are positioned parallel on sawhorses, spacing measured and verified against original specifications. Transverse crossbeams are fitted into their mounting points, each joint tested for proper fit. The passenger compartment floor planking is replaced, starting from the center and advancing outward. Each board is positioned, alignment verified, then fixed with period-appropriate fasteners. Hammer descends repeatedly, metallic sound echoing through the shed, each impact securing the structure. Restored axles are repositioned under the frame of the same Barouche carriage, slid through their mounting brackets until emerging symmetrically on both sides. Reassembled wheels are lifted by auxiliary winch, positioned aligned with axle ends. Hubs slide over polished surfaces with precise fit, the characteristic wheel spacing of the Barouche design maintained exactly. Front shafts are reconnected to the steering assembly, their pivot hardware lubricated with consistent grease. The yoke is repositioned between shaft ends, secured with restored iron hardware. The brake system is reassembled on right side, pivot lever connected by renewed chains to shoes with new leather padding. The body panels are remounted to the frame, each panel fitting into its original position, secured with the same pattern of fasteners. The decorative trim is reattached along panel edges, recreating the ornate appearance characteristic of the Barouche style. The folding hood mechanism is reassembled, iron hoops straightened and treated, connected with new leather straps that replicate the original design, the framework articulating smoothly as it's tested. Final paint is applied, deep lacquered finish on the body panels in period-appropriate dark color, contrasting lighter tone on decorative trim elements, matte black on iron hardware and undercarriage, preserving 1865 Barouche aesthetics without modern markings. The Barouche carriage from the Old West era of 1865 emerges complete under workshop lights, its wheels aligned, its body panels gleaming, its folding hood properly articulated, its ornate details restored, every element proving this is the same elegant passenger carriage from beginning to end. The gloved hand pushes lightly against the side. The carriage rolls, wheels turning smoothly over restored axles, ancient creaking replaced by controlled movement. The first sign of life after decades immobile. The camera pulls back, capturing the entire reborn assembly. The same elegant body with decorative panels, the same four wheels with metal rims, the same undercarriage frame, the same folding hood mechanism, the same front shafts and yoke, the same brake system, the same ornate iron brackets, proving continuity through each preserved and restored visual anchor of the Barouche carriage from the Old West era, from abandonment to complete finalization. Claude é uma IA e pode cometer erros. Por favor, verifique as respostas.